Students with physical disability are students who have problems in various ranges and forms of movement. Physical activity and mobility may be impaired by several conditions, some of which are permanent, others of a temporary or intermittent nature. Physical disability can be a consequence of congenital or acquired defects of bones, muscles or joints, or peculiarities of the central or peripheral nervous system. By any of these conditions, coordination and balance may be mildly or severely affected. Besides, movement may be impaired by muscle spasms, numbness, or pain. As a consequence, both manipulations of equipment and writing may be difficult. Physical disability may also result from a head injury. For example, increasing numbers of students are returning to education following vehicle or sporting accidents in which they have sustained some degree of brain injury. It is important to enabling pedagogical staff to acquire knowledge for work with students with special needs and to make them aware of their role in the performance of students with special needs and their well-being. Of course, some ethical dilemmas exist among higher education teachers. Many of them doubt that adaptations will jeopardize academic standards. Another ethical dilemma faced by higher education teachers is that they see adjustments as an unfair advantage of individual students. To avoid ethical dilemmas, communication about adjustments between the student and the teacher is crucial. There is a range of inclusive teaching strategies and space adaptations that can assist all students to attend classes and learn. For example, adaptation of the institution's physical spaces might relate to parking spaces design, ramps and elevators, sensor doors, sanitary spaces or similar. Also, learning spaces might need some changes such as sufficient space for trolleys, wheelchairs, storing places for crutches and other utensils. Communication and transferring media for study information should be considered as well. The main rule that applies here should be to talk to students with physical disabilities in the same way as we talk to other students. Learning process should be monitored and enough space for breaks provided. Students with this kind of disabilities should have the chance to record the classes and be allowed to share the notes with other students. It is also important that all the spaces for learning, training, practical exercises, and daily workload are easily accessible. Online learning is an excellent opportunity to support the learning also for this kind of student disability. However, there are some key aspects that should be considered. Another important issue that should be mentioned in this chapter relates to the examinations. In considering alternative forms of assessment, equal opportunity and not a guaranteed outcome should be the objective. Teachers are not expected to lower standards to accommodate students with a disability, but rather are required to give them a reasonable opportunity to demonstrate what they have learned. Quite some adjustments to oral and written examination and assessment of knowledge are possible in higher education classrooms and are explained in this chapter. Support for higher education institutions at an organizational level is also crucial. Each institution has to have its regulation, but organizational culture is also important. There are a variety of support measures listed in this chapter. However, it is not enough for an institution to guarantee access to students with disabilities. The institutional policies and practices must be revised to ensure that education is inclusive, guaranteeing that all students can participate fully and benefit from a process of quality teaching and learning.